So you know how people occasionally just put a title up on a video and you think it's just to get clicks? Well, this isn't what this is entirely. Trump's a liberal. You just don't know that, as you've been fooled. Both kinds of loyalists have been fooled. You know, you can make a strong argument that some of these Republicans, some of these Democrats have made it have been actually Republicans. They could easily do that because in actuality, there's just not that big of a difference. There's not. I keep trying to show people this clip, and the irony is so thick on this, it's crazy. I mean, you listen and you tell me what you hear, and this is an old clip. Why on earth is this having no effect on people? Let's see here. Where? All right, it's gonna be like that, huh? Okay, that'll be a little tricky then. Just do it this way.
Well, first of all, I know her very well, and I know her husband very well, and I like them both. And they are, just really terrific people. I like them both very much, but I think you're looking at the record of Hillary Clinton, and how did she do as Secretary of State? Probably above and beyond everybody else and everything else. You'll be looking at her record, and everybody else will be looking at her record. I don't know that Benghazi, it doesn't seem to have resonated like perhaps it should have, but many other things have come up, and the world is in turmoil. And I think that a lot of people will be looking at Hillary's record as Secretary of State, and she will be defending that record, and I'm sure she'll do a good job of defending it, but that will be the thing they will be going for.
Interesting. Huh.
You'll be looking at the record of Hillary Clinton, and how did she do as Secretary of State? Probably above and beyond everybody else and everything else. Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman. I mean, I'm a little biased because I've known her for years. I live in New York. She lives in New York, and I've known her and her husband for years, and I really like them both a lot. And I think she really works hard. Hillary's a great friend of mine. Her husband is a great friend of mine. They're fantastic people. I mean, the thing, they get a bad knock. She's a very nice woman. People think tough, and I guess she's tough, but she's a very nice woman, and he's a very nice guy. We know all about the smarts and how smart they are, but they are good people. Well, first of all, I know her very well, and
Huh. Interesting. So, how much more can we find here? That was some years ago, right? You know, they make it intentionally hard to find some of this stuff. Here we go. More recently.
They asked me a question yesterday at the press conference about Clinton because of the testimony, the Epstein thing, which turned out that I have nothing to do, and they did, about Epstein. And they said, do you think it's terrible, with the subpoenas and everything, and they're disobeying the subpoenas? And I actually said, it's a shame. You have an ex-president, and you have, the president's wife and Secretary of State. And I said, it's a shame. It is a shame.
NBC News broke the story today. I don't know if you saw it, that the Democrats are already saying, if you bring President Bill Clinton and he has to testify, we're bringing President Trump. What do you say to that?
I think they might say that, but they've already brought me. See, I've been brought. They had me indicted many times. Many times. They didn't do that to Clinton.
Do you think if the Democrats win in the midterms, at least one House of Congress, they're going to try to impeach you?
Well, I've done a great job as president. They say I've had the best first year of any president in history, and I think I have. If you look, I said
nobody says that.
Biggest tax cuts ever. Right now, we have more under construction with the factories, the car plant. You know, they're all moving back into the country. They were stolen
That's
from us
not
over a 40-year period.
demonstrably
They're coming back
false.
From Germany, from Canada, from Mexico, from Japan. I think I had the greatest first year that we've.
But you think they may come after you again?
Well, they'll find something. Like I did an interview with you, and because I did the interview, let's impeach him or something.
Anything out there that Americans are going to be surprised
They
about that
shouldn't
you're
do.
doing? Yeah.
I'll tell you, they shouldn't do it. And that's one of the things. I didn't do it for that reason, but it bothers me that somebody's going after Bill Clinton. See, I like Bill Clinton. I still like Bill
What do you
Clinton.
like about him?
I liked his behavior toward me. I thought he got me, he understood me. You know, he was the one that said very famously that you don't want to run against Trump, when there were 18 people. It was 18 people, including me, total. And he kept telling them, you don't want to run against Trump. Run against anyone, don't run against Trump. And Hillary sort of laughed at him. He said, Hillary, you know it, and I know, don't run against Trump.
Yeah.
And they ran against Trump. It didn't work out too well, did it? You know, they asked me a question
Huh.
yesterday at the press conference about Clinton because of the test.
Huh. Now, you can also very easily find videos of him about the abortion thing, being pro-choice. And the ironic part is, because I'm sort of in the middle on that myself, he actually made a valid point at the time that essentially he said that he doesn't like it, but it has to be a choice. It's the same point that I make. You can hate it all day long. It's out of your jurisdiction. You cannot control people's bodies. You definitely can't have the government mandating that a person doesn't have jurisdiction over their own body. So it is what it is. You can hate it all you want to. Now, when he's talking about it, it's complete garbage because he's obviously one of these little Epstein demons, so it doesn't matter anyway. So there you are. I mean, depending on what you think is the liberal or conservative view of LGBTQ, he has went more liberal than he is now on that. In the past, he's been pro-war and anti-war in his rhetoric, either direction. He's been married a whole bunch of times. He's a serial adulterer. He's every stereotype and has had every view that gets equated with Democrats. And he's also, I didn't mention there, he funded the Democrats. So, what are you holding on to with this? I mean, is it just a pride thing? I don't understand this. Why can't you just cut it loose? And if you're afraid of somebody saying, I told you so, it's not like Biden and Harris and all that was a great choice. I mean, what's the brag going to be? You should have voted for them. What, and keep getting what we had? There's no win here. There's no I told you so. And I know you got some people online doing their own little videos saying that, or at least suggesting it in the way they're talking. They don't come right out and say it, but essentially saying, well, you see, you can see it's just reading between the lines. Oh, you voted for the wrong person. As opposed to should have voted for Harris. And that's nonsense. What we should be saying right now is that you should not vote for these parties. How are you not figuring this out? How on earth are you not figuring this out at this point? It cannot get any more obvious. I don't know what else they would have to do to make it more obvious. He's been all over the map. Hillary Clinton was all over the map and famously just recently said, I would bomb Iran. So we can leave that out. that it would be better with them. We see what kind of warmongering nonsense Biden and Harris was doing when they were in office. Had 4 years of it. You see who voted for what and who's funded by who. It's like going to a row of Porta-Johns and pitching one of them as being fantastic after a concert. No, they're all garbage. They're all disgusting. They all smell about the same. They're all the same thing. Please wake up. Please. How are they different? And I would like you to argue with me how Trump is a conservative. Am I looking for an argument? Yes. Yes. You argue how he's a conservative. He's a representative, a good representative of Republicans. By the way, I hate both parties. So I got nothing to win or lose in this. But you argue with me how he's going by Republican policies and behavior and expectations. You argue with me how he's a better representative of that, and I'll argue that he's a better representative of what you yourself think Democrats are. You take your best shot and see what happens, because I'm ready. I'm always ready. And he's got 2 Democrats in his cabinet. Oh, they're not Democrats anymore. Yeah, right. These people are all the same thing. You see that little AIPAC thing, they're all funded by that. They're all the same thing. Everything you're seeing is WWE. It's theater. It is theater. You look at his history with the Clintons, Trump's history. Obviously, he was friends with them at one time. Okay? And the Trump supporters will try to act like, well, they had a falling out. He figured out what there was to them. I'm assuming you'd pitch that. Okay. Well, then why did he just say that? Why did he just say that? Why did he say that he wishes Maxwell well? Ghislaine Maxwell. And he said it multiple times. He's doubled down. Why did he say that? Is that what you wish? Do you wish Ghislaine Maxwell well? Pretty obvious to me. This is my theory. Neither one of them is behind bars. Neither one of them is dead. That's my theory. Doesn't mean every little thing that you see where, oh, somebody saw him here, he's really this guy now. She's walking around the street in Canada. I'm not saying that. That's just muddying the water. But ain't neither one of them where they're supposed to be. One of them ain't in a box, another one isn't in prison. That's my belief. And I say that because I have eyes and common sense. It's just like how people try to make you a flat earther when you pointed out that occasionally when you saw Hillary Clinton back when she was running against Trump, that it wasn't really her. Well, you use your eyes and you look. And when the person looks completely different, but looks like they're made to look a little bit like this person, you don't get a different body type. A completely different shape. You know, like Trump's got a distinctive shape. He's got a distinctive posture. His arms look strange. And the reason why his arms look so strange is because he's up on heels. Your arms generally match your legs. You can tell he's propped up on something because his arms don't reach long enough for him to be that tall. They don't reach down far enough. He's not 6'3", he's 5'10", barefooted at best. At best. Again, that's my opinion, that's my belief. All the artificial stuff. You know, it's a shame to me what the conservative movement has turned into, because there was some things I could get along with at one time. The small government thing, that's a lie. That's an absolute lie. That's a complete lie. And this Make America Great Again thing, you don't believe that yourself. Or what are you trying to take it back to? Why are you being so selective? Why do you drive a brand new vehicle? Why do you have a brand new phone? Why are you messing with any of this technology? Because it was great before, it's not great now. So why aren't you sticking the way things were before? Why am I the one with the antique vehicles? Why do you have a brand new one? Cold morning, you're sitting out there getting your buns toasty. You sissy. And no offense to anybody else, you know these type of people don't like being called sissies. You're a sissy. You're a pansy. You're sitting up in a rolling couch because you can't handle a real truck. And you're the first ones to get online and talk about, show a picture of a manual transmission and say it's a Gen Z safety measure or something like that. What do you drive? You're that close to having the vehicle driven for you. You got a backup camera because you can't do this. Or this. What have they turned you into? Also, another thing leaning towards Trump being liberal. Can you explain to me have you even seen him drive? Have you seen him drive a truck? Have you seen him garden or build anything or fight or shoot a gun? No. He's from New York. You remember there used to be commercials kind of taking advantage of the rift between North and South in this country. It's a barbecue sauce commercial. And famously, somebody would pick it up and be like, this stuff's made in New York City. And everybody would be like, New York City? And there would be consequences. And now you got this pansy in there. And West Virginia, and their infinite stupidity about people they elect, they got a New York governor now. Oh, I'm sure he'll do great things for West Virginia. Carpetbaggers. Also, another point, I could do a whole video of this. Why are we outsourcing our politicians and political figures? They're all barely American. I mean, you could go on and on and on. Trump is one. Obama. Harris. Kash Patel. The St. Pierre lady. Forgot her first name. These people are barely American. See, I'm consistent on that. I don't just pick out the ones that don't look like this. Why are they all foreign? And if they're not, they're descended from a family that has been, say, done notorious things in the past, like the Bushes. Some old legacy part of the United States that we don't need to be bringing back. So that's just something to think about. Where you're trying to tout yourself as making America great again, are you? Because what I see you as is somebody middle-aged, my age or older, who's trying to live like a teenager. And you got this guy here with caked on makeup and fake hair and lifts in his shoes, who's never worked in his life, can't fight, can't shoot, can't do anything, barely American. He's extremely, if you open your eyes, he's extremely effeminate too. You think he's a macho man? It's funny, he's dancing to, I'm not going to get into that, but whatever. Somebody, wrong person will get offended. He's not masculine. He's not manly. He's not a good father. He's not a good husband. He's not a Christian. and he's not a conservative. Not that I am defending conservatives. He's like a stereotype liberal who's cosplaying as a conservative because you are dumb enough to go by it. You believe it because you are gullible. And leaving all that aside, the identity thing aside, what promise has he fulfilled? Other than treating certain demographics like crap. How's the war looking? How's the prices looking? Just something to think about. Maybe you're chasing make-believe. And again, maybe you should wake up. Maybe this is some more of that asleepism disability that you have. I just saw a guy on Rumble. Who was it? I think it's that, it's either that Graham guy. I think it's this guy in North Carolina. I think I confused his name with Franklin Graham. Some dipstick redneck, pseudo redneck. He's probably never worked a day in his life. And he's wearing a shirt that says never woke. So always asleep? That's what it is. He's telling you to go back to sleep because that's what they're paying him to tell you. Shh. Don't listen. Don't open your eyes. Don't know things. Go back to sleep. Oh, you're figuring things out? Are you woke now? You need to be. And by the way, if you're liberal, you're not woke. If you're a conservative or a liberal, you're a Republican or a Democrat, you are not woke. You're asleep. You're a little hand puppet. Few things to consider. This went on longer than I meant.